race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Our family started RVing a few years ago, and when I think about all those campfires and fishing trips and sporting events, these are memories that are going to last a lifetime. I want to help others do the same thing. Hi, I'm Kevin Smith, General Manager at the all-new Click It RV in Milton Freewater. People in this community are very familiar with this location and the great service they've always received. So the biggest question we get is, where is Keith? The great news is, Keith is still here.
I've seen a lot of changes. I've seen a lot of things come and go. Through all the changes that we have seen, one thing that has not changed for us is the quality of our service.
Buying an RV is a big purchase, but it should be a fun and happy experience. So whether it be in sales or service or parts, our mission is simple: be the best. From our team here at Click It RV in Milton Freewater, we invite you to come down and experience the difference.
Looking to the inside of Turner, trying to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway, nearly does.
Last night the track was very slick. You know, we had 2 good grooves.
But anyway, just another some of that.
There's people in the stands. That means there's people watching.
LSRTV welcomes you back for the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Winter Series here for the Iowa Farmers Challenge here. 2 twin 50-lap events here tonight from the virtual Iowa Speedway in Newton, Iowa. Should be a fun one tonight. I'm Jason Rockfell alongside Charles Wooten up in the booth. Wesley Outland should be here shortly. He's play-by-play analyst tonight, color analyst, and obviously always pushing the buttons. Charles Wooten here tonight. Welcoming you back. Last week at Charlotte was a very fun one, and usually the home for NASCAR. Besides Daytona, Nicholas Gowen was able to pick up another win over Michael Sturgill last weekend. Gabriel Ellison also on the podium there, finishing in 3rd. And Charles, this is a really fun track to race on. If you've been on the sim for quite some time, and somehow, some way, it always gets more and more better every time we come out here. We've seen tons of great shows over here on LSR TV at Iowa, man. Good evening, man.
Yeah, this track always produces some wild racing and some caution-free racing if you're the Northwest and forget to turn cautions on by mistake. So, I say it every week. I think we'll probably see a calm race in race 1, a little less calm in race number 2 when you have all the fast guys going to the back with the invert. So, this one, these bigger tracks are harder to predict. This one, I think we're going to see some cautions because it's so much more compact of a track.
Yeah, for sure. And again, Iowa Speedway, remember 4 turns. It's an asphalt track, only 0.875 miles, so just under a mile. And NASCAR obviously returning back to the Iowa Speedway this coming season for the top 3 series in NASCAR, including the inaugural Iowa Speedway race for the NASCAR Cup Series. And boy, that is going to be a fun one to watch. And you can just see these drivers are already having a handful in qualifying here tonight as we're just at the top of qualifying starting. This is Max Deck. See him getting really loose off turn number 4. And Charles, a lot of the main reasons why I think this track is always so fun for us commentators and for you up there pushing the buttons usually is because of just how much the tires wear out here, the multi-groove racing, and it's got that progressive banking, 12 to 14 degrees from bottom to top through turns 1 and 2 all the way to 3 and 4. This track's always fun, has great racing.
And with the latest update from iRacing, or one of the latest updates, bringing the dynamic track back, that really could play into a shorter track like this, but a fast track nevertheless. And keeping track of those qualifying guys, Steck right now in 3rd, Ellison He is currently at pole. Could he finally get that 50th win that has eluded him for like the last 3 weeks now? He's just not been able to do it. Could tonight be the night?
Yeah, we're going to have to find out for sure. Remember, Gabriel Ellison just a few weeks ago picked up one of those victories that got him his 49th, tried to make it 50, was not able to do it. He holds the pole right now over Brad Rivers. Michael Garone, another driver who's been fast recently in that number 29. You see him hitting the bumps through 1 and 2. Always a tricky spot. There is a huge bump through the center of 1 and 2 if you've ever ran the middle of the top lane here at Iowa. Usually you want to be on the bottom, but that outside lane can play a dividend for you. And then 3 and 4, it's really, pick your poison. Do you want to go to the bottom? Do you want to go to the middle? Do you want to go to the top? That's the great thing about Iowa is this multi-groove racing. You see Michael Garone gets really loose through the center of 1 and 2, which is definitely going to be a huge troublesome spot here tonight. We've seen drivers in the past for us spin off turn number 2, going through the center of 1 and 2, and also coming off turn number 4 with the transition from that 12 to 14 degrees of banking. And here's Michael Sturgill, driver that number 90 machine. He's been so fast this season. 4 wins up on the board. 16 for 16 top 5 finishes. That is a stat that I would be very proud of if I were him, with all the competition that is coming to this race or this series rather, over the past 16 races. Tonight will be races 17 and 18. Only a few more weeks to go. We have Auto Club next week, then Richmond, Daytona, and Chicagoland for some twin races, and those should be very fun, to say the least.
Yeah, this season coming to a wrap here in a few weeks. Not sure if winter's going to come to a wrap, but the winter season is definitely going to be wrapping up here soon. And, that only gives these drivers a handful more races to try to double down, get and sweep a race, get 1 and 2 or 1 both races. Only 2 drivers have done it so far, so it's kind of like the pinnacle of these things. Can you win both races from the front, from the rear? Maybe you start in the middle and go there. One way or another, you want to get that. It's kind of like a crowning achievement, I think, for these guys to know that they can win one, start from the rear, come back and win the other one. But it's a tough feat.
Yeah, definitely a tough feat for sure. Tonight's event, so far, only 10 drivers have signed up for tonight, obviously, from what I just said. And it's not a lot of competition, but Charles, we did say, and you mentioned beforehand, that this race can have that effect where it's a green flag run. So starting in the back may be kind of hard, especially on these tires. We know how fast these tires wear out here. And if you're a driver for, say, like Ryan Bloom, right now he's on the pole by nearly 0.05 of a second. That's pretty good if you're Ryan Bloom, driver that number 22 machine. And if he were to win tonight here in race 1, start in the back in race 2, you never know. It could go green all the way to the end. He might not even be able to get back to the front. So that's the thing about Iowa, is it's kind of, half and half. The first half could be really chaotic for this race, and the second half it could be really, just long green flag runs. You just don't know what to expect when you come here to Iowa for sure.
Yeah, and then, there's always that curveball that could throw us, and we could go caution-free both races, completely unchaotic. You never know what's going to happen. I can promise you one thing, and just because we got a couple of minutes here to kill, I've seen all the stuff circulating on the interwebs about the NFL being fixed because of the logo colors and all this. I can promise you this right now, this race, it ain't fixed.
Yeah, definitely not fixed for sure, to say the least. And obviously, a lot of good competition in this series that we've seen so far. Anybody from Michael Sturgill to Nick Gowen, and Ryan Bloom, those 3 drivers, and even the 4th driver, Gabriel Ellison, really, really fast. They've probably been the 4 best drivers all season long. Brad Rivers has had his dabble or 2 up at the front. Same thing with Toby Ritters. He sits 5th up on the board in qualifying right now. And Toby really was trying to, get a handle on that truck and this track, especially, Charles. We were talking to him just beforehand, him and Ryan Bloom both, and Toby was trying to figure out the truck. He said he posted his fastest lap time in practice that he's ever posted here. So Toby Ritters may be able to get a victory here tonight if he's able to just manage the tires, because, you know, he did say you don't want to mash that gas coming off that corner, and he's definitely right, because those tires are absolutely going to be squealing if you do that here tonight.
Yeah, we did talk to them, you know, and that's going to be interesting to see, as we even saw it in qualifying. There were several people, excuse me, losing my voice, getting loose, kicking the back end out of this truck. So again, this is one of those, I almost, consider this like a Daytona or a Talladega, kind of a crapshoot. You don't know what you're going to get with it, except probably some decent racing. And, you know, I've never been there personally, but I would like to pick up some corn if there is. Obviously, this is the Iowa Farmers Challenge. So, you know, what they say, when in Paris, to Rome, do things in Rome. I don't know. If you're in Iowa, you do corn things. I don't know.
I don't know. All I just know is that a lot of corn comes from Iowa, and it's very flat and it's very boring unless you're going to the Iowa Speedway for sure. Or you could really. I know that obviously Busch Beer, every single year they do those for the farmers cans, and they have the Iowa corn and stuff like that. I know that every time you buy a 30-pack or 12-pack, some X amount of dollars or something goes to the farmers out in Iowa that brew, or not brew, but rather, harvest the corn. So it's always cool. Iowa known for corn. I guess that's one thing besides Iowa Speedway. And, qualifying's ticking down. 2 minutes left here tonight. Just look over the points again real quick. Actually, you know what, Charles? Let's look over the weather here tonight. I don't believe we mentioned the weather at all. Let's take a look real quick here at your Kaufman Creative weather conditions. There's your air temperature tonight, 66 degrees, only 4 mile an hour. Now make it 5. It's flirting right now between 4 and 5. It's pretty indecisive. Now it's at 3. So, not really going to be a factor. Track temperature, 67 degrees, so pretty cool racetrack for these drivers here tonight. It's not going to be that slick. I mean, besides the abrasive surface, that's really the only thing they're going to have to worry about. And I tell you what, Charles, if this track was in the daytime today, it would definitely be hurting these guys a heck of a lot more with the heat beating down on this Iowa Speedway, because that's just going to create more slickness, going to create more tire spin. You're definitely going to wear out the tires more.
Yeah, I'll be honest, that's a cool night here. I would love to have 67 degrees where I'm at right now. But yes, a very, very cool night compared to some of these 110, 130 degree tracks that we've seen in the future.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it here. So, and we're getting ready to go. 54 seconds before these guys line up and get ready. And again, Michael Sturgill is the driver who is holding the points lead right now over Gabriel Ellison by a very, very large margin right now. But obviously that could change if Michael Sturgill chooses not to race these next few weeks, maybe finishes deep in the results. We'll have to find out here coming up shortly. But qualifying about to get in, going right now here, 20 seconds. And it looks like it is going to be Ryan Bloom who will take the pole. So these guys are going to grid up here in just a second. Remember, 2 twin 50 laps event, or 2 twin 50 lappers here tonight. End of the first race, we'll re-rack them, restack them, and then they will do the invert, and we'll get going for number 2 here tonight. And qualifying is now officially wrapped up. That means Ryan Bloom is officially the pole sitter here for tonight. We're going to go over the starting lineup here in just a moment, getting ready for the Iowa Farmers Challenge. Row number 1, Ryan Bloom, Nick Gowen, going to start there first and second. Row number 2 goes to Michael Sturgill and Gabriel Ellison there on the outside. Row number 3, Toby Ritters Clifford, Bradley Rivers on the outside there in row number 3. Row 4, Tyler Gibbon in the number 12 machine. Max Steck saw him qualifying. He's going to start in the 8th spot. And final row tonight, 5 rows apiece. Michael Garone and Stan Carnathan there on the outside in the number 82.
Yeah, not the biggest field, but hey, these guys are showing they don't need a big car count to put on the show.
Yeah, definitely not. We've seen beforehand how much these guys can put on a show for sure here. And they're getting ready to roll off in just a second here. And we'll have to see. It's going to be very interesting. Again, Nick Gowen won over Michael Sturgill last week. And it's funny, too, because the guys who qualified in the top 4 are all drivers who finished in the top 4 last week, just here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Now we head west to the heartland, basically, in the U.S., so getting ready to go. Nick Gowen won over Michael Sturgill last week, Gabriel Ellison, and Ryan Bloom. That was your top 4. Max Steck right there on the outside of those top 4 drivers who've been so dominant this year. Gabriel Ellison, he's got 1 win, looking for number 50 like you mentioned, Charles. Only 7 top 5s this season, 10 top 10s. Ryan Bloom, he's got 3 wins, second most, or actually third most rather. You want to count the tie between Nick Gowen and Michael Sturgill. That's going to be an interesting one here to say the least. Pace car is rolling off the grid right now, getting ready to go. And man, Charles, I tell you what, I want to say if I had to pick somebody here tonight just to win, I think it's going to be Nick Gowen. I mean, he won last week at Charlotte. Why not? He's been so dominant. Whenever he showed up, he's been the one that Michael Sturgill has had to get after, and he just hasn't been able to really do it. Michael Sturgill very well could have a challenge here tonight.
Yeah, and you notice there just a second, a little blinking issue for Ryan Bloom. So hopefully he didn't inherit that Fortnite issue from his boss over in the Northwest. Hopefully that all sorts itself out before we get going. I'm looking forward to this race. You got, like I said, 10 drivers, but you got heavy hitters in here between Bloom, Gowen, Sturgill, Ellison, Rivers. I mean, pretty much the entire field. It's like an elite race here with heavy hitters.
For sure, to say the least. And obviously the pace car lights, or pace truck lights rather, are off here as they head through turn number 2. Again, this track just under a mile at 0.875 miles in length, 4 turns, 12 to 14 degrees of banking from 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. And it's progressive banking, so we're going to see some great racing here tonight. 10 cars, 20 cars, it doesn't matter. This is Iowa. We've seen some great racing in the past. Sure, we're going to see some great racing here tonight. Pace truck's about to pull in. Ryan Bloom, Nick Gowen, front row, leading them down to the green flag. And here they go to the Geico restart zone. Green flags in the air. 50 laps are underway for the first of 2 races here tonight, and Bloom leads them into 1. He's got Michael Sturgill hot on his heels. Gabriel Ellison almost put 3 wide. Oh, and now they're going to be 3 wide off 2. Michael Sturgill's going to try to shove it in down low. Nick Gowen, though, goes from top to bottom. He's going to lead him this time off turn 4.
Yeah, we got Gowen out front, Sturgill and Bloom side by side. They're going to put on a little bit of a battle here between that 23 and 90. And, I didn't know if we were going to see side by side. We were going to go single file, but they're showing right now they're going to go side by side right out of the gate here. As they said, Farmers Challenge? Yeah, we're farmers. Let's go. Let's challenge this one.
Yeah, they're trying to farm to get up towards the front. Here goes Michael Sturgill once more, going to shove it down to the inside lane there. Gabriel Ellison all the way up top. Got to be careful of that bump through the center. Nick Gowen now loose on the exit of the corner. He'll shuffle back to third now as Michael Sturgill puts more pressure on the 81 Exalta Chevrolet. Ryan Bloom goes up to first, and Sturgill loose off turn number 4, and it looked like the 81 just barely almost got to the back of him, had to check up. They fall back to the front bumper of Brad Rivers as they head off turn number 2.
And I think this is the first time I've seen him. I'm not sure what was going on, but I do see the woolly mammoth. So we might have Wesley now.
Have you got me now, guys?
We finally have you. We have not seen you. We thought you were extinct.
I popped in. I kept seeing my face. I kept hearing Jason. I was like, what is the deal here? I've been in here for like 15 minutes. I don't know what's going on, but oh, wow. Well, let's get it started here. Jason, how you been? Glad you're feeling better.
Yeah, I'm getting there, man. I tell you what, I told Charles last week when I said I don't think it's a good idea for me to get back up in the booth. I don't want to be coughing my brains out every 5 minutes. And I told him, I said, I might have to get some raspberry lifesavers because I heard y'all's broadcast from Atlanta from the Stars and Stripes last week, and he said that's how he took care of his flu-like symptoms. He just took some raspberry lifesavers. I can confirm, though, did not have any raspberry lifesavers. Had me some medicine, some Tamiflu, all the goodies there. Great people that took care of me, and now I'm feeling a lot better. Still getting there, though, but just glad to be back for sure.
I'm glad you're feeling better for sure, man. No doubt about it. Well, we're in the early going of this one. The Iowa Farmers Challenge, and obviously only fitting that it's at the 7/8 mile cornfields of Iowa Speedway. And Ryan Bloom on the quest for another win. A lot of storylines, Jason. I know the car counts dropped off for the last month since the end of the Christmas holiday, I would say. But, man, there's still a lot of storylines with a lot of these drivers that, of course, want to make history, want to get historic wins, looking for the first win, looking at team wins. Still a lot of opportunities in the next a month and a half to decide a champion.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. Michael Sturgill, he's been setting the world on fire here in the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Winter Series, to say the least. You see him right now running third in that number 90 machine that he's made so iconic for us over here on LSRTV. Gabriel Ellison, he's looking for that 50th career victory. Remember, got that 49th one a few weeks ago. Hasn't been able to replicate it now. He's still looking for it, and Ryan Bloom has just all of a sudden, in this second half of the season, he has been absolutely on fire.
Again, tonight, the Iowa Farmers Challenge for the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Winter Series. And watching now, Ritters battling with the 81. Here comes Going on the inside. Rivers will follow in the back, and Ryan Bloom right there in the lead. Of course, Ryan Bloom looking to try to get another win for the Northwest. And I got to think, Jason, running these different leagues during the offseason, I believe, and speaking not only for Toby Ritters, as you're seeing him battle alongside with Going for third spot, or fourth, correction, but with Ryan Bloom up in front of the 22, I believe that it's just going to make them that much better for Win Racing when the Northwest Series launches in February, beginning of March.
Yeah, for sure. No doubt about it. We talked, back, remember, for the Memorial Day break, we stopped at, Memorial Day pretty much. We didn't start back up in the middle of the season for the Northwest Click It RV Series for both the trucks and the Xfinity cars. We didn't start back up all the way until Labor Day. That's a long time, but for folks who usually tune into LSRTV and for us up here in the booth, remember we had those fun series that they would put in. We had the RGL Motorsports GT3 series. We had the Gen 4 series. There were so many different things going on, and I kept saying it's going to make these guys who are showing up and not necessarily taking that vacation break, and they just want to keep on getting after it, digging in their cockpits at home. It's just going to make them better sim drivers. Look at Toby Ritters. He's not running in the back to mid-pack anymore. He's running up at the front. And, I know it's only 10 trucks, but he's still there every single week in this series, and it's making him better. Ryan Bloom showing these guys he means business when you go to these mile-and-a-half short tracks. It doesn't matter. The more seat time you have here on iRacing, the better driver it's going to make you in the long run.
Yeah, I totally agree for sure. And obviously, here's something else to think about. Charles and I hinted on it last Tuesday night, and we've chatted on it tonight as well, Jason. But we got twin 50 lappers here tonight. We normally run 30, 40 laps tops. Because it's short track racing, 50 laps. I think that's something you've also got to take into consideration of conserving and saving to also be there at the end for the win, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, you look at the best lap times. We're only, pretty much 15 laps into tonight's race so far, and we have already seen drastic lap time fall-offs. You look at Ryan Bloom, the leader right now, over Gabriel Ellison by about 3/4 of a second right now. His best lap time was a 22.849. His last time around, as he comes by this time, was a 23.597. Now it's a 23.658. For folks who have never driven on this surface or have never driven on iRacing, if you've seen it in person, the races, people will tell you, no matter who it is, this track is an abrasive surface short track. It's almost like, Wesley, it's kind of like a Richmond, but the tires wear out here so much more than Richmond, and it's got that progressive banking, and it's able to create that multi-groove racing when the tires wear out, like you're seeing right now between Nick Going on the inside and Toby Ritters up top. So you have to be mindful of these 50 lappers, you have to conserve your tires because you don't know if you're going to get a caution. This race might go green all the way to the end. We're not going to have to pit necessarily. You might have to pit once, but I don't even think you're going to have to pit. You might run the tank dry, but you really have to conserve those tires. That's going to be a big thing here tonight for sure.
Yeah, obviously, again, Iowa Speedway, 7/8 of a mile, and continuing on the momentum, Carnathan down to the inside of Max Steck. He had a pretty good opportunity to possibly win the other week ago at the race at Vegas, and then he got caught up in an accident in the second half of the event. We're 20 in, 30 to go, 5 to halfway. And, of course, the Iowa Farmers Challenge. If you're new to the series, obviously, twin 50s tonight. No overtime. No attempts at overtime. The field is inverted at the end of race number 1. First will start last. Last will start first. And right now we got, oh wow, did Steck hit the wall? It looked like a piece of the spoiler came off on the back of the 5 truck there, Jason.
Yeah, I just noticed that, right? I thought it was the rear bumper cover, but I saw it and I was like, that's way too skinny to be the rear bumper cover. So some sort of damage to the number 5 machine. Maybe we can get a replay from Charles on that one, but just coming off turn 4 the last time around, that number 5 car, or truck rather, just barely brushed the wall, saw a piece of debris fly out, not too sure what it was, but obviously it doesn't look like there's too much damage to that. Here's the replay. Coming off turn number 4, and you just see he just gets a little too high, and it's the bumper cover, but even though it's showing on our end for it being still on there, that bumper cover could very well be off for those drivers that are racing around him. You have to be very careful because you tap somebody in that rear end, you can send them around very, very quickly.
By the way, Jason, how about this, man? After tonight, we're in the final 4, which will be the final 4 rounds of the 8 races if you count it right now, obviously. We're going to Auto Club next week. We love Auto Club Speedway. Richmond, the penultimate race is going to be at Daytona and Chicagoland to determine the championship after we take a week off between the 2 weeks for Valentine's Day, obviously. And I think those are going to be some exciting races, and they're so different in comparison to the racetracks as well, configuration size.
No doubt about it. I mean, Auto Club is definitely one of our favorite racetracks up here in the booth. It's one of my favorite racetracks on this sim. I've got a few wins there myself in some leagues. It's been so fun. I used to love running the Gen 6 cars there. And I mean, I know everybody doesn't really like them with the high downforce, low horsepower package, but man, that track was so fun. It's such a shame that they're making it into a short track, but I'm all for doing short tracks. Just a shame it had to be Auto Club to bite the bullet for all of us. But thankfully for iRacing, obviously with the scan that they have, we could always go back and race at the old Auto Club Speedway, so that's fun. You got Richmond, that's a great short track. The trucks always perform really good there with the tire wear. You're basically on the edge of control coming off the corners, especially off 2. Daytona, don't even need to say a word about that one. We all know how that is. In Chicago, man, multi-groove racing pretty much. The tires wear out drastically there. That's probably my favorite track in the sim. I've gotten so many wins there. I love that place. But yeah, Wesley, these next 4 tracks for these guys are definitely going to be some fun ones to watch and to drive on.
Michael Sturgill came into tonight's event as we're just in the second half of race number 1 with a almost 200-point lead, 183 to be exact, over Gabriel Ellison, who's on the quest for his 50th career win. Right now, he's in second. There's Michael Sturgill, as I just mentioned, and their teammates. All this going on, of course. All this taking place in the second half of race number 1. Got one guy looking at the big picture. Jason, you got another driver that's trying to get that 50th all-time career win. He'd be on the all-time win list. What do you do the same and what do you do different if you're those drivers?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think if you're Michael Sturgill, I mean, you're just out here just trying to really just collect points. I mean, sure, go out there and have fun, have a blast. You know, if you're Gabriel Ellison, try to fight for those wins, man, because you never know. I mean, maybe Michael has an issue for the next couple races. Maybe he finishes dead last. You know, I mean, I know it's a big stretch. 183 points, I believe, is what it is right now. I know that's a big stretch, but again, you just never know. Gabriel is just out here trying to have some fun. He wants that 50th win pretty badly. He came close a few weeks ago. Came close recently. We'll have to see if he's able to do it, but really just got to mind your own P's and Q's, show your driver etiquette, show that respectfulness that you usually want to show on track for sure.
By the way, don't forget tomorrow night, obviously coming soon, will be, of course, the Full Throttle Racing Series. All that's going to be coming up with the Monday Night Cup Series, the trucks on Wednesday. Charles Wooten and, of course, Jason will be in the booth for that, starting up here at the end of the month. And in addition to that, you've also got the Stars and Stripes Racing League. And Jason, I know you worked with me in the first one. I know you were sick last week, but man, that's a series that I really think is going to be really fun this year, no doubt, on Thursday nights too.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. I was watching the end of that race last week when I was sick in bed, and man, it was fun to watch those guys go at it at the old Atlanta with the Xfinity cars. Such a great track. I can't wait to see where that goes. And obviously, the Full Throttle Sim Racing Series, you know, between the Monday series with the Cup cars, and then the Wednesday series with the Truck Series. I mean, I called that series last year over on Nerditudes for Nerd TV, and man, that was a blast to call that with Jeremy and Dustin Longston. I had so much fun. Those drivers have such a ton of personality, man. A bunch of great group of guys that they, you know, hard knuckle racing, all while being clean. Some drama here and there. What can we say? It's just like watching, you know, an every week event, and there's so many storylines going into it. Drivers from Brody Hanna to Richie Coy, Tommy Schaefer. There's so many great names that run in that series that, you know, not only have become friends, you know, they've become great racers, they've become great partners, and I'm really glad to see them come over here to LSRTV. I'm really excited to see what we can show for them.
Under 20 laps to go, 15 to be exact. And Ryan Bloom is running away with it. The interval is almost 2.6 seconds as now Carnathan and Jevin still battle with one another. The number 12 machine, Tyler Gevin. I want to say it's Jevin or Gevin. I want to say Gevin. Carnathan down to the bottom. Michael Garone Jr. And obviously, watching him work to the line, 7/8 of a mile here at Iowa Speedway. Bloom just continuing to just do what he needs to do. If you know, mind you, I mean, it's just been sheer domination when somebody, Jason, gets out and gets to the lead. And we've seen it all year this year. We've not seen a race where it's been very close for a winning finish. It has been when somebody goes to the lead here, no, whether race 1 or race 2, they're gone. It's done. It's over with.
Yeah, and you know something too, Wesley? This is going to be the interesting thing that I was telling Charles before you joined us before, that like this track, yes, it's only 10 cars, but with how abrasive the surface is here in Iowa, you look right now, me and you both have it, the SDK live timing and scoring for us. You look at these guys and their intervals and also how many positions they've gained, how many positions they've lost. Most of everybody has kind of stayed around the same spot, so it's not really like there's many opportunities to pass. So maybe Ryan Bloom, Gabriel Ellison, Nick Gowen, they're going to start in the back here for race 2 if they finish obviously where they are. It might be a little bit more difficult to get up towards the front just because of how crucial the tire wear is here. I mean, we've fallen off now over 2 seconds with fall off since the start of this race, 40 laps to go. We could see a whole different race play out in race number 2. We're just going to have to find out.
And under 10 remaining, as Jason mentioned, Ryan Bloom gone. The battle now for second spot, going inside, making a move on Ellison. Ellison losing ground, going easily, got around him, coming to the line. 8 to go, Jason going back to 1.
Yeah, Gowen got really loose coming up out of there. He tried to throw in a slider, and he got right in front of Ellison, but Ellison had to check up just a tad bit. I don't think he wanted to go down to the bottom, you know, like most people would. So really heads-up driving by Gabriel Ellison this time. He'll work down to the bottom through 3 and 4. Nick Gowen going to continue to rip the top lane and try to get around Ellison. And that's the thing, Wesley, when it comes to the tires wearing out here at a track like Iowa Speedway with this progressive banking from that 12 on the bottom to 14 degrees up top, you could run the outside lane, and it can be the faster lane around this racetrack just because the tires are evened out. There's no grip compared to when you're on the bottom on fresher tires and a guy up on the outside's on fresh tires. That bottom lane's going to be pretty dang good as well, but with these tires wearing out, that outside lane just gets better and better.
They'll be coming to 5 to go. And bottom line, it has been Ryan Bloom. And man, I'm telling you, Jason, I'm going to call it. If we see Ryan Bloom do what he's been doing during the offseason at these big marquee events we've had to call, or of course with the Sim Racer Hub Challenge Winter Series, Ryan Bloom might make a threat for the Northwest Championship. Hands down, no doubt. The ARCA champion was so close to winning the title last year. He was the only driver, if you remember, Bud, that was in both the truck and Xfinity championship. Nobody else did that.
Yeah, and you know what the funny thing is too, Wesley, because remember we were talking, I remember you and Justin Prince called the majority of the Monday night series, and me and you called the Wednesday, but then I picked it up on the second half of the season. And remember, Ryan Bloom, he was kind of just struggling and just kind of hanging in there on the Wednesday series, and he was doing very good, don't get me wrong, but he was still looking for that win, and then he was able to get into the Final Four, had an opportunity. You know, obviously things don't work out sometimes, but the truck series, he was just so good. 10+ wins up on the year, and I think this is kind of like his bread and butter. He really likes, you know, these trucks. He likes the way they handle. Just a fun time for him, obviously, compared. Now, remember, though, that Monday series for the Northwest, that's a setup series. This is a fixed setup series race, so a little bit differently, but still, seat time is good seat time. Any seat time is good seat time. So Ryan Bloom looking to come home again with another victory as he takes the white flag here.
That's the CRN one to go. We had a great doubleheader of basketball. iRacing's around the corner and other big events as well. We are CRN.com for more information. And here comes Ryan Bloom, Jason, coming to the checkered flag out of turn 4, buddy.
Yeah, out of turn number 4, Ryan Bloom, the Monster Energy colors, gonna see that black and white checkered flag. He'll win race 1 here tonight, and man, he was just so stout from the drop of the green flag. Started right up there, started first. He's gonna finish first, and man, it's gotta feel good if you're Ryan Bloom picking up what would be your 4th win of the season, tying Nick Gowen and Michael Sturgill for the most wins up on the season so far.
There you go, 10 drivers, caution free, but there's a look at the results. Nicholas Gowen gets it done. Bradley Rivers. Oh, wait a minute. I'll flip-flop that. Sorry. Here we go. Ryan Bloom is the winner. Almost 3.5 seconds over Nicholas Gowen. Gabriel Ellison third. Bradley Rivers was 4th. Michael Sturgill, good solid top 5 finish for a good points drive again. Clifford, Toby Ritter stays out of trouble. He finishes 6th. Top 10 finish for Max Steck, Stan Carnathan. Michael Garone and Tyler Gevin, so 10 drivers. Man, I wish before the season ends we could get 25, 30 cars, trucks for sure. But right, it's over. Ryan Bloom gets it done. Well, Jason and I and Charles will head to grab the post-race interviews. We'll set the stage at the end of race 1 to prepare for race number 2. The Iowa Farmers Challenge rolls on. We're back in a moment. iRacing on LSRTV from Iowa. Welcome back to coverage of the Iowa Farmers Challenge. Jason, I'm Wesley. Charles is in the box. And, of course, race 1 in the books. Ryan Bloom getting the win. Jason is with him in victory lane right now. But first, we're going to grab the podium, and it's the third-place driver. We'll get his thoughts here in just a moment. And, of course, we'll grab him. That's Nick Gowen. Man, I'll tell you what. No, my apologies. They've changed the lineup on us again. I'm sorry. Who got third?
I did.
My brain's gone frozen, man. Was it Gabriel?
Yes.
Gabriel. Yeah, I'm sorry, brother. Gabriel, man, third place, and obviously another good podium run, another good points run to be second, but gonna have to try to just reset in race 2. What do you do differently, man?
Yeah, I don't know. I got to figure out how to keep the tires on it. Obviously, I'm not sure what I did wrong there to hurt me so much in the long run, but I was falling off pretty bad for the last 20 laps or so. So, yeah, I got to mess with it a little bit, maybe brake bias change the line I'm running, just try to make the tires last a little longer.
And Gabe, congratulations, man, on finishing third. You're still looking for that 50th career victory, man. I know you'll be starting towards the back of this field here tonight, but obviously with how hard it is to pass here at Iowa, and, you know, you talk about the tires wearing out so much, do you think you have the opportunity to get that 50th career victory tonight?
Yeah, I mean, you never know. I think a lot of it's going to come down to that initial start, you know, getting a good start, maybe getting a couple freebies off the rip there, and then just how it plays out long run. You know, it's a small field, but you know, mixing everybody up, you still have a lot of opportunity for some chaos. So I think I got a shot at it. We'll just see what happens.
You know, Gabriel, you were talking about the tires. So my question is this with the tires running out. Do you race differently? Is there something you got to do differently on the setup before you go green that could make you conserve, or is it just more patience than anything?
Yeah, I think it's probably more patience. I mean, I think going down on the brake bias would probably help me as well to help that car rotate. I'm probably going to mess with that a little bit. But I'd say for the most part, it's probably just, you know, the technique you use to enter the corner. Clearly, Ryan had that figured out a lot more than we did. So if I could just copy what he did, it'd probably be all right.
There you go, man. Thank your sponsors.
Yeah, huge thanks to Aspiration Homes and SimRacerHub.com, and thanks to LSRTV.
There you go. There's the thoughts of Gabriel Ellis, and he'll finish in third. Nicholas Gowen, always great catching up with you, man. And another solid finish. You'll finish in second. You're taking the race, man.
Yeah, happy to finish second any day of the week. Granted, one position higher wouldn't be bad either, but it was pretty nice. I got out there and wanted to lead a lap there at the front at the beginning, and then just kind of backed off from there. I feel like I backed off probably a little bit too much and just got caught up in trying to get around some traffic, which held me up a little bit to try to make an attempt at catching Ryan. I could have just waited too long or saved too much. I'm not entirely sure which is which, but he definitely had it dialed in, and he was going to be hard to catch tonight. But still happy to finish second.
And Nick, obviously, congratulations on finishing second, man. Now you're going to be starting at the back, similar to obviously Gabe and Ryan. So with that being said, what do you feel like your strategy is going to be like to try to get to this front and take home another victory tonight?
It's tough, you know, because you want to make those quick moves, but you also don't want to burn your stuff up and hurt it, and it hurt you later on in the run. So it's still trying to figure that out, because you want to make those quick moves at the same time, but like it's not hard for someone to pinch you down on the bottom, and then you have to play the waiting game of whenever you're just going to get around them when they burn their stuff up. So I don't know. Time will tell. I guess we'll see. Starting in the back, it's going to be tough with dirty air and all that, too, now being a bigger factor than it was the last race. So we'll have to see.
Final question, and thank your sponsors, obviously. What do you do differently, Nicholas, as far as, you know, changing the setup-wise on your – well, let me refresh that. 50 laps on this track is a lot longer than the other distances, but this is a short track. So do you pace yourself like you would an intermediate track here to be here at the front at the end, or do you quickly take advantage of this being a short track and go to the lead by lap 10?
Well, yeah, it being a short track, I mean, definitely, I feel like we have a little bit less time. I mean, granted, yeah, 10 more laps, but at the same time, it's a shorter track, so I mean, I feel like there's less time than we would have on intermediate. So I think you're going to see the pace pick up here in the second race from a lot of drivers, myself included, because I definitely took too long in the first one to get into gear.
Well, Bud, before we let you go, thank your sponsors, man.
Oh, thank you guys for doing the broadcast. Thank you to Sim Racer Hub for putting this on, and Clinton Sneed, and thank you to all the viewers and friends and family watching. So thank you guys.
There you go. That's Nicholas Goen. There's your podium at race number 1 of the Iowa Farmers Challenge. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we get you set for race number 2. This is the Sim Racer Hub Challenge Winter Series. This is iRacing on LSRTV. Guys, it's been a long day, and I totally overlooked the winner, Ryan Bloom. My goodness, man, I am so sorry. Congratulations, man, on winning. I think I might have made one of the biggest goof errors ever in iRacing broadcasting. Congratulations, man. Big win for you, sir.
Oh, thanks. I'll let it go this time. But no, you do a great job. No problem. Yeah, it's one of my better tracks. I get around here pretty good, so I figured I'd do well here. I mean, I didn't probably a little better than I was expecting, but yeah, I don't know. I get around here pretty good. It's a track we run a lot in our Northwest Series, and it's a fun track for me, and I enjoy running this one.
And Ryan, congratulations, dude, on picking up your 4th win of the season. And now you're going to start at the back. I'm going to ask you kind of the same question, but how hard do you think it's going to be to try to get up towards the front with how crucial the tire wear is here? Since you were the fastest guy last time, you won by over 3 seconds. Do you think you can replicate that here despite starting at the back?
No, it is tough to pass here, and of course I had the advantage of clean air there, on the first race. Although I didn't do a great job on the initial start, but I was able to get some momentum on the outside and just kind of maintain it, not overdrive it. But no, I think I'll have to be. I've kind of made the mistake of being a little too patient when I've started in the back before, so I think I'm going to have to be a little more aggressive. Just try to find that balance between, running hard and not too hard and burning my stuff up. So this is generally a tough place to pass. So we'll have to see how it goes, and hopefully I get back up there.
Brian, final question, bud. Segue this into your thinking of sponsors, man. You are now the 3rd different driver in the series this year to have 4 wins. What will it take for you to break through in race 2 from the rear and become the 5th winner of the season?
Probably. Yeah, I just got to find that balance between patience and aggression. Kind of like Nicholas said, maybe can't wait too long. That dirty air definitely does impact the truck, and it makes it tougher. So I'm just gonna have to see how it kind of plays out and see where I can make some moves. Maybe the high line might be the way to go. We'll just have to see how it goes. So our sponsors, I just want to thank you guys, LSRTV, for putting on the broadcast, Clinton Sneed and Sim Racer Hub for putting on the series. It's been a lot of fun, and look forward to the next race.
Now we can take a break. Ryan Bloom, winner of race number 1 in the Iowa Farmers Challenge. Ryan, congrats and my due apologies, man. It's been a day. It has been a day. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we will then reset and get ready for race number 2, Iowa Farmers Challenge. LSR TV, your home for sim racing. We're back in a moment.
We're a racing family that you can trust on and off the track. So if you're looking for foundation repair, go online or give us a call to schedule your free inspection. If we fix your foundation and you mention Race On Texas, you will get a 1-year free subscription to the All Access Pass.
Welcome back, and we're in Iowa. It is the Iowa Farmers Challenge. And they're picking the corn here, and going from the rear this time will be Ryan Bloom after winning race number 1. And Jason, what do you see we're going to see differently in race number 1? Obviously, in race 2, this one was calm, cool, quiet, no cautions. Do you think we'll see the wild races now in race 2, buddy?
It's a possibility. I mean, we very well could see it. I mean, the first race was pretty tame, but we'll have to find out and see. I mean, the field's inverted. Who knows what's going to happen?
And here's the lineup for race number 2. Tyler Gevin will be on the pole in the 12. Michael Garone Jr. the outside, row 1. Row 2, Stan Carnathan in the number 82. Max Steck in the 5 will start in 4th. Row 3, Toby Ritters, I want to say he was around mid-pack in race 1 as well. Michael Sturgill to the outside, row 3. Row 4, Bradley Rivers in the 15. The quest for 50 wins continues for Gabriel Ellison. He'll start in the 8th spot. And finally, row number 5, we'll find Nicholas Gowen and Ryan Bloom. Let's take a look at the race analysis again. Another 50 laps. No overtime attempts whatsoever. No fast repairs, 100% fuel, 1 extra tire set. Jason, my question is this, though. Do you take that set of tires knowing that you're on 100% fuel? Can you go the distance on 50 laps at Iowa? We saw it in race 1.
Yeah, you definitely can. You have to be mindful of that. I tell you what, though, Wesley, this caution comes out about 10 laps into this race. You're going to see everybody coming down pit road for sure.
And I got a feeling we will probably see a yellow flag in race number 2. It just normally goes that way, right? It's like coming up as the blue-green vacation duels at Daytona. Normally the first race is quiet, the second race is pandemonium and chaos. If the first race is a wreck fest, the second race is calm. I think we're going to see the same thing here as we come to green at 1 to go.
Yeah, it very well could be like that. I mean, that's pretty much how the duels have been for most of the last few years, and really since forever, pretty much. I mean, even here, you can consider it like 2 dual races, which it pretty much is. It's 2 twin 50 lappers. You could see that, obviously. I mean, 10 trucks only tonight, but that doesn't matter. You're going to see guys scrambling, trying to get to the front, knowing they have fast trucks, trying to get around the guys to finish in the back in race 1. We're just going to have to see and find out.
Ready to do it again. Race number 2. By the way, remember, on to the final 4. Auto Club next Tuesday night. Here they come down to the line. Race 2, 50 laps in Iowa, and we are green. Gavin, great jump there, Jason, on the start. He'll power to the lead. Look at Ritters now inside, coming after the Summit Racing Equipment number 12. Jason, I remember as a kid growing up, and I think they still have it to this day, but they do a lot more on the digital side of it. Whoa. But do you remember? Whoa! Sturgill and Garone about got together. Holy cow, what a save. But do you remember the Summit Racing Equipment magazine?
I believe so. I think my uncle used to have them. I remember reading a couple back in the day, but not that many.
Yeah, I do. I'm unveiling how old I am. I'm the oldest man here. But I remember literally my dad ordering race car parts. And you're up in New Jersey, Wall Stadium. God rest his soul, my grandfather. He also raced cars up at Seacon Speedway in Wall Stadium as well. And he ordered race car parts from Summit Racing Equipment in the magazine.
Yeah.
And now it's done. Yeah, Jags. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
seeing a really good battle right here going on between Ellison and Brad Rivers. And also, you see that 29 of Michael Garone Jr., man. He's been slipping and sliding back, already back 4 spots from the start. And noticing something right now, one thing to point out here was just a handful of laps underway. Look at Ryan Bloom right now. Oh, we got a car in the wall heavy. Oh, no, it's your pole sitter, Tyler Gevin. Hard up into the wall in 1 and 2. That truck is destroyed, and the front bumper is completely gone. The front bumper and oh my goodness, the radiator's exposed. What happened?
And no caution, though. No caution. Look at this. Here's a replay. As Ritters might have been a little aggressive there, trying to battle. You know Ritters is hungry, Jason. He wants to win. Oh, no! Really wasn't Ritter's fault. It was kind of Sturgill getting into the 12 of Gavin and into the Wally win of the safer barrier, and then he's not done.
The 12 got loose coming out of turn 4 and got to the door of Ritters and shot back up the racetrack, and the 90 of Sturgill just had nowhere to go and just ran right into him, just an innocent bystander. And I mean, you can't fault Toby Ritters. He put the number 12 machine under pressure, and the 12 car tried to get back to the throttle, spun the tires, and just got into the door. And unfortunately for him, he's going to be out, and Michael Sturgill's going to have to race with that damage for the remainder of this race if it does go green.
43 to go, 7 in, but they come to the line, and right now it is Ritters in the lead. He's in the catbird seat, doing what he needs to do to put himself in the win light for the first time this year, if he gets it done. Wow. Jason, I'm wondering if Sturgill's got some handling problems after almost running into the Gevin truck and falling back and then going, and Steck almost getting together here.
Yeah, he definitely does. He has the slowest truck right now on the racetrack. I mean, just the last time around, but I mean, that time he wasn't the slowest. I mean, he just held up the 5 and the 81 big time coming out of turns 1 and 2, and the 5 and the 90 almost made near contact. In fact, they did almost send each other both around, but they were able to save it. Now you see Max Steck finally being able to get to the outside. There's the damage on the right side of that number 90 machine, and that wheel is kind of pushed in on that right front fender. So that is definitely hindering his performance through the center of the corner, and also on exit. You're seeing this 90 machine starting to drop back to all the way to where he started now, and could drop back a few more spots.
TNN Auto Club next week, as we mentioned, as this series winds down. Again, we've been going at it since about mid-November, right before Thanksgiving. And we are moving into the final 4 races after tonight in the Iowa Farmers Challenge. Auto Club next Tuesday night for Richmond. Richmond, the final short track race of the year. And then Daytona after a week off on Valentine's Day, the 13th. And then the 27th, the finale, the championship in the Windy City in Chicagoland.
Yeah, and those races are going to be so much fun. We just talked about them in race number 1, West. I mean, 4 different tracks. And then obviously you have this last race for the night here at Iowa. Such a fun track to watch races at, and especially these next 8 races that we have coming up here, the next 4 events for us. So that's going to be fun to watch. And like I was saying back beforehand, before we saw the 12 of Tyler Gevin get into the wall, notice one driver who hasn't made his way up really is Ryan Bloom. We talked about how he was going to be starting at the back, and I asked him, I said, what do you feel like your chances are going to be to get back towards the front with how hard it is to pass and how abrasive the tire wear is? He said it's going to be tough, and he said that he felt like the thing that got him the best was having clean air, starting up at the front. Now he's got to deal with everything opposite-wise. Started at the back, he's in dirty air, he's up to 6, he's up 4 spots, but he's definitely not somewhere where he wants to be as we're just approaching about halfway through tonight's event, 15 laps in. I mean, if you're Ryan Bloom, you got to go. Yeah, it just goes to show you that there's been a lot of stacked competition here in this league this year so far. I mean, though, it's like the 23 machine has been really up there most of the season so far, but nobody has really been able to get around Gabriel Ellison, to get around, you know, Nick Gowen and Michael Sturgill. I mean, this is the first race we've really seen Michael Sturgill kind of have a problem at a non-super speedway race. I mean, he's all the way back in ninth with that damage. That's big for him, you know. And oh no, Max stacked hard up into the wall.
Wow.
Off turn number 4, looked like the 81 of Nick Gowen just inched him right there, and you can see the hard damage on the right side door panel of that number 5 machine. And I can only imagine he is definitely probably not too happy with that 81 machine. He definitely crowded him up to the outside wall. Don't know if Nick just got tight, he got loose, maybe they were battling, trying to fight for the same piece of real estate like you saw, or what. That was some hard contact for the number 5.
And right now, Toby Ritter's not a big difference, obviously, on the lead comparison interval between him and Ellison, but he at least does have about a 3/4 second lead as we're closing in on the halfway mark of this event in about another handful of laps. Hello, Chris Riondo, tuning in up from Ascutney, Vermont, where the snow is on the ground, and still enjoying the coverage of iRacing on LSRTV. One of the street stock drivers from the New Year's Bash just sent me a text and said, Jason Wesley sounding good. Thank you, buddy. And we're closing in on halfway, Charles. And how exciting would it be, Jason, if Toby Ritters could be able to just get a breakthrough win? We've watched these guys all year long, especially Toby, be so close to being there at the win, and then something happens and he can't finish the deal. What does it got to take, Jason? You race iRacing as well. What's it got to take to finish as we approach halfway at Iowa?
Be consistent for these next 27 laps. That's the only advice I could give to him, man. He's got over a second lead now. And that's the thing. I mean, these tires are going to wear out just a little bit more, about another second off. You know, about 2 seconds off from what they started off with their fast lap time. So, I mean, Toby's just got to really be consistent. His best friend right now is that clean air. Don't mash the gas coming off on the exit like we talked about earlier. Stick to the inside lane. Save those tires. Only really move around the racetrack if you're seeing the driver behind you, being Gabriel Ellison or Brad Rivers or whoever, start closing in on you. That's really the only advice I could really give to him. He's doing a really good job right now. He's the fastest one out on this racetrack. Toby Ritters very well could be looking for a win here tonight for sure.
Finish time, no doubt about it. Jason, are you going to get, how much snow, buddy, did you get up there in New Jersey with the weather and whatnot?
It's got a little bit. I want to say maybe we got like 1 to 3, maybe even 4 inches possibly, but it wasn't a lot. But definitely the roads, because it got so cold here with the air, it froze over a little bit. So it was kind of icy out. But besides that, we didn't really get a lot. But then again, we haven't had snowfall up here in 2 years. So, of course, you know, everybody's going to flip out. Nobody knows how to drive on the roads when it snows. But, you know, it's fun. You know, it was cool to see the snow. But I tell you what, I am a big hater of snow. So for all you people who want to see snow that are from south, you don't want to see snow, especially when you live up north here in the New Jersey, New York area. It is not fun to deal with when you know, have people who cannot drive, and especially when you just can't, you know, go anywhere.
And you know what's crazy, and I know Charles was talking about it getting cold down in Texas as well. It is going to warm up, Charles and Jason. Okay, today's high in Smithfield, where I live at in the studio right now, is 42 degrees was the high today. We were in the 30s and 20s for highs over the weekend. Tomorrow, guys, 73 degrees. By Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, it's going to be up to the mid-80s. Are you kidding me? Indian summer is here.
Do you want to switch states? I would love that right now. We only got 51 degrees on Friday, man.
I wonder what Texas will be like. Charles always gives us a forecast of the weather in Texas, you know.
Charles, you know what Charles has got to bring back? I remember back on the BRTV days when Charles and I were doing it, and even earlier on, remember Wesley, we used to have Charles give us a weather report. He'd have he would have his weather from the studio, and he'd be like, oh, there's tumbleweeds outside and all this and that. Charles, you should definitely bring that back here. It's not too late to bring in some more stuff for 2024. You should definitely bring back a studio weather report.
RC car report with Charles's weather. Yeah, let's drive through the terrain with the RC cars, and we'll tell you what the weather's doing.
Don't get him started.
20 laps to go. Toby Ritters, Clifford, I know Rose and company have got to be cheering on Toby if he gets it done. Trying so hard to break through into victory lane. Toby Bailey Ritters, the man in front. Can he be there at the end? Woo. What a run. What a race if he pulls it off here.
Yeah, it would be so cool to see Toby win this race for sure. He's got a 2.25 seconds right now. He's just got to maintain that gap. Be very consistent here these next 17 laps. You don't want to give up any time. You don't want to make a mistake. Don't do something that, you haven't done all race long. There's no sense in doing it. Just keep on driving that fine line that you're used to and make sure that you can work it all out so you can get to the end with those tires.
Don't forget the Northwest Racing Series, where, of course, Ritters and Bloom and others compete on. Fires up for another season. Season 11 of the Northwest Racing Series trucks. And then the Click It RV Fix Setup Series planning. I believe that's the plan. Monday and Wednesday. And, of course, looking forward to being back not only on a simulcast with the 4K broadcast coverage that you're watching with the Sim Racer Hub Challenge Winter Series on LSRTV, and we'll also have the radio call again on the Community Radio Network. And Jason, you called many races with us, man. I think we're going on season three, 2 years working almost full time with each other when the events we get to work. And man, it's just amazing as that gets in the wall. Jerome trying to get by to the bottom. I think it's going to be a big, big year is what I was going to say for LSRTV in 2024, no doubt.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had so much fun calling these races with you guys over now the past year and a half, almost 2 years coming up. It's been so fun to be over here and be a part of this family and get to know you, Wesley, and Charles, obviously, going back, to the beginning of my, eNASCAR, iRacing broadcast days just a couple years ago. And Jeff Stab now, obviously, and people like Toby Ritters and Ryan Bloom for the first league I called over here, being the Northwest Series. And now we've seen so many leagues come and go. We've seen so many leagues come in. We've seen so many leagues that still say, hey, from time to time. Great people, great community. Absolutely love it. Wouldn't trade it for anything else. And it's been really fun to be a part of it, obviously, and definitely many more to come for sure.
Coming to the end of this one. And Toby Ritters on the cusp of breaking into the win if he gets it done. I don't want to jinx it, but I will tell you this as they're approaching the home stretch with 10 laps to go, Jason. Toby has opened up 1.3 seconds, 1.25 now, over Gabriel Ellison and Nick Gowen.
Yeah, and I tell you what right now, Nick Gowen is just a little bit faster right now. I tell you what, if he can get past Gabriel Ellison right here within these next 2 laps, he might have a really good shot. He slides up the hill, gets a little bit sideways. Gabriel's going to be able to hold that spot. This is just going to help Toby more and more. But Toby ran up on some lap traffic just beforehand of Michael Sturgill beforehand. He only ran 2/10 off Ellison and Gowen. Now the gap is dwindled back to 1.25 seconds. It was under 1 second just a few moments ago. Toby's got to keep it together for 9 more laps, and he's a winner here in the SimRacerHub.com Challenge Winter Series.
In a nice way, it's pucker time, as I always say, buddy. Down to under 10 to go. It's single digits now. And there you see now Gowen after Ellison. This is for second. Ellison, plenty of room given to Gowen on the bottom as they work off 4. They come to the line to the tri-oval. 8 laps to go for Ritters. Can he hold on? There you see the battle now for second. And by the way, Jason, this is in favor for Toby Ritters. You guys want to battle? I want to pull away. And if they do this, this will allow Ritters to pull away to look for an easy win here at 7 at the line.
Yeah, he's just got to hang on. He's only got it by a little over a second right now. And Gabriel Ellison starting to pull away from Nick Goen by about half a second. And Ellison starting to close in just a little bit. If he can just be a little bit more consistent than Toby Ritters, he's going to have a shot at him, but he's going to have something happen. Toby noticed that this 27 was jumping up to the top side. He jumped up as well. And that's really hindering the 27 with not having that clean air, having that line taken away from him. He's got 6 laps to go this time by. Toby's going to have to do everything he can if he wants to bring home a win tonight.
By the way, Iowa Speedway, if you're a fan of the Indy cars in Iowa, you got to love it when NASCAR goes to Iowa for the first time ever with the Cup Series. That'll be coming up in the summer of this year. And with 5 laps to go, yes, sir, Ritters is gone. He's on a quest. If he gets it done, he's the 8th different winner on the season here in round number 9, which is actually races, if you're keeping count, races number 17 and 18 of the season.
Yeah, and it's been so fun to call these races here, these twin races every single week on Tuesday nights. It's been cool to see here, and it could be shaping up to be a good finish here. 4 laps to go. Ellison now, he's cut that gap down to 3/4 of a second. Can he get to Toby Ritters this time? Ritter's going to work the bottom. Ellison going to work back to the top side, try to close in. That's exactly what he needs. He's gaining some time. Toby's got to hang on. 3 laps to go as they head back into 1.
Ritters, man, this would be a monumental moment if he could hold on. Clifford's got a big, big red face smile on the side of that truck. Here comes the big red machine. Penultimate lap of the race. 2 to go, Jason. Ritters got to hold on. Ellison and Goen are starting to gain on him.
This is the best thing for him now because Nick Goen and Gabriel Ellison are going at it for the 2nd spot, and they're going to be coming through turns 3 and 4. Goen to the bottom of Ellison now as Ritters looks to take the white flag. He's got less than half a second. He's got to do it one more time around as Ellison and Goen battle going into turn 1. Only 2 more quarters for Ritters, and he's a winner.
Preparing for another season for Win Racing and the Northwest, and finally breaks through into victory lane in the Sim Racer Hub Challenge Winner Series. Toby Ritters wins race 2, 8th different winner here in the Iowa Farmers Challenge tonight.
Wow.
How about it? You just gotta love it, Jason. You gotta love it for a guy like Toby Ritters. It's an underdog story with a dog on the car. Pardon the pun.
Well, let's hold the phone real quick because like we've been saying how good at Toby's getting, this is not necessarily an underdog win like we're used to seeing from him anymore. He's been doing so much better. But man, I tell you what, when it comes to us up here for LSRTV and our little community and whatnot, a Toby Ritters win is like a win for America. And the way he just won here tonight in Iowa, I know he's going to be happy to talk to us. He said hopefully to talk to you later on. We got to talk to his buddy Ryan Bloom. Now we're going to be able to talk to him.
And I'll make sure that I don't miss interviewing the winner for this one. Oh, man, let the celebration begin for the Ritters family. Toby Ritters is a winner in the Sim Racer Hub Challenge Winner Series. I know they got to be going bonkers in the chat and with the family, and what a moment for this driver here at the end of round number 9, races 17 and 18 on the tour. Let's take a look at the results. Jason, why don't you give it dig with care, especially if you got snow on the ground. Well, if you ain't got no snow on the ground, if you got to dig in the pavement in the grass before you put in a pool or a phone line or building or anything like that, remember to contact 811.com for more information. There you go. No cautions. No cautions tonight, Jason. No yellow flags whatsoever. I'm surprised. Coming up, it is the post-race wrap-up, and we will grab the podium. Stay with us, iRacing on LSRTV. Toby Ritters, Ryan Bloom, the Northwest reigns supreme. And I'm not talking about pizza. It's the drivers of the Sim Racer Hub Challenge Winner Series tonight at Iowa Speedway. We're back in a moment. Welcome back to the post-race coverage of the Iowa Farmers Challenge here at the Iowa Speedway. Jason Rockefeller, I'm Wesley Outland. Charles Wooten, phenomenal job as always bringing it to you. By the way, the next iRacing broadcast will be Thursday night, the Stars and Stripes Racing League. We'll have it for you, Jason, myself, and Charles on LSRTV. All right, Toby, normally we go 3, 2, 1, but I got to bring you in. We'll let the winner go first. Congratulations, man. 8th different winner of the year, and finally you get a win on the Sim Racer Hub Series. I know this is one that's like the goal when you finally broke through as a Northwest winner. You've been striving and working towards it.
Heck yeah, Wesley. Ryan sure helped me out a lot at this track, telling me how to run my throttle and to save on those tires and stuff. But man, I'm finally getting myself some wins, Wesley. All this hard work's paying off, buddy.
Yeah, and Toby, congratulations, man. I just wanted to say, you've been working so hard and whatnot, and going through your mind there, those last few laps, obviously, you started to fade a little bit. Nick and Gabriel were both coming really, really quickly there. What was going through your mind seeing that gap kind of dwindle down just a little bit?
Oh, my heart was racing. I was kind of conserving a little bit on my tires, and I was kind of 3/4 throttle on exit. So they were gaining ground on me a little bit because I was trying to save, because I was afraid that I was going to burn up my stuff and I'd get freight trained. So it worked out like I was hoping for, Jason.
Toby, what do you take preparing for the new Northwest season coming up here in mere months, less than a month, I guess?
Well, I've gotten a lot better with my racecraft, Wesley. I've gotten a lot better with the road course end of it. The team sure helped me a lot and had a lot of patience with working with me. Dennis, Ryan, Kevin, I would like to thank you guys for all the hard work that they put in on helping me out. And I feel like I got a great season coming up in the Northwest Racing Series. I'm really looking forward to it, Wesley and Jason.
Well, man, before we let you go, thank your sponsors.
I'd like to thank Aspiration Homes, Click It RV, Clinton Sneed. I'd like to thank LSRTV for the amazing broadcasting. And I'd like to thank Ryan, Dennis, and Kevin for helping me out with my racecraft.
Toby Ritters.
And the Lord above and my wife.
Amen, buddy. Man, thank you. I know Rose and the entire Ritters family got to be tickled to death, no doubt about it. And for sure, he is the 8th different winner when it's all said and done here tonight at the end of Iowa's event, Race 2. Toby Ritters here this evening. All right. What a fun run. Gabriel Ellison, another podium, man. If it would have been 60, 75 laps, you think you would have called up the Ritters or ran out of time, used up your tires? What did you do different from race 1 to race 2?
Maybe I'd have caught him, but Nick would have been long gone, I think. I don't know. I feel like I probably had the exact same issue there at the end. I was making time on him, but I still felt I couldn't get it through 1 and 2 for whatever reason. And Nick was making up. I mean, he make up a 10th on me in 1 and 2 over and over again. He's just having a hard time passing because how hard it is to pass. I'm not sure, what the sauce is on that, but I clearly don't have it. But 2 P3s, you definitely can't complain with that. It's a small field, but I mean it's a tough field. No one's a pushover in this field by any means, so you'll take it.
Yeah, and Gabe, congratulations on the podium finish here tonight, man. Going into Auto Club next week, man. Only 4 events, or 8 races rather, left for you guys. How do you feel like your chances are going into Auto Club? I know it's one of my favorite tracks. How do you feel like you're going in there?
Yeah, I feel pretty good, but I love Auto Club. I love how fanned out it gets in the corners. You got 2, 3, 4 lanes working at the same time there, so that's always a fun time. Hopefully the setup lends to good racing, but like the one tonight was very tight, unfortunately, but you get that sometimes. But yeah, looking forward to Auto Club.
Gabriel, it's been a while since you have won. You're looking for that 50th career win, as I continue to allude on week in and week out. But we just got the 8th different winner in this series. Even though the numbers are down car count-wise, it seems, how competitive is it with these guys to break through and win on the tour?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a testament to it, right? I mean, I've been in position, super close to a lot of wins, but, haven't had some of it, mistakes on my own, some of it just not being fast enough at the right time. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a testament to the the difficulty here. And huge congrats to Toby. I mean, it's a tough one to win. So good job to him.
Well, Bud, before we let you go, thank your sponsors.
Yeah, huge thanks as always to Aspiration Homes and SimRacerHub.com and LSRTV for putting this in, Mr. Clinton Sneed for putting this on.
And there was 4 events left of the final 4. There you go. That's, of course, Gabriel Ellison. He'll finish second. Nicholas Gowen, the Exalta colors. Jason, if I remember, didn't you say that was your favorite paint scheme on the tour, on the series, was with the Exalta 81? Am I right?
Oh, I love that car so much.
Yeah. Nicholas, another podium for you, man. You're taking this race tonight at Iowa.
Yeah, feels good to get back-to-back podiums again. I just wish it was one spot more. Gabe definitely didn't make it easy getting around him. He was using every bit of track that he could, and I mean, honestly, I feel like had I had one more lap there, I probably could have made a move on Toby. Whether or not I would have made it stick, but I mean, it's just it was very tight there at the end. Truck felt really good. I still had plenty of turn in it. Just wish I had one more lap.
Yeah, and obviously, Nick, you were so strong here earlier tonight, and even the second half of the night. Had you have gotten around Gabe a little bit quicker there, do you think you would have had enough momentum to carry yourself to get up to the front and battle Toby for that win?
I believe so. Because, I mean, despite what it looked like as hard as we were racing, I mean, my tires, I mean, I feel like I still had plenty of tire. The front still had plenty of grip on it. And, as Gabe mentioned earlier in 1 and 2, I was making up so much ground on him and Toby in 1 and 2. So, I mean, I think so, honestly. I mean, just the truck felt stronger there at the end, but still happy with the P2.
Nicholas, man, I got to ask you as well. Is there any chance that you can try to run down, Sturgill? I know he had some problems tonight. Does that tighten the noose anymore to reel him in, or is it pretty much an open book shut case? Do you think he's got it just as long as he keeps just showing up to run?
I think if he keeps showing up to run, I mean, it's going to be pretty difficult, especially for me. I mean, right now my aim is getting to that second spot. I think that's a more realistic goal. I just think I'm too far back from Sturgill at this point, with only 8 points paying races left. I think it's going to be tough. So, but the gap from me to second place is attainable. So,
yeah. I was going to say 206 points between the top 3, and then you're right there in the 5th spot. But there is literally 60, 70 points separating third through 5th. So it could happen.
Yeah, I have faith it could if I can show up every week and get decent finishes from here to the end of the season. I think it's definitely doable.
All right, Bud. Before I let you go, thank your sponsors.
Thank you to you guys, LSR TV, for putting on the broadcast. Thank you to Clinton Seed and SimRacerHub.com to putting on the league. And thank you to everyone watching at home. And I guess we'll see you next week.
There you go. There's the thoughts of the driver, of course, Mr. Nicholas Gowen, who's already got 4 wins on the year as well. We'll wrap it up tonight from Iowa on the Auto Club. Next week, Jason, always fun working with you, man. Great to hear your voices back. Great to hear you back at least 75% health again. Sucks being sick. You're taking tonight.
Yeah, man. Great multi-group racing all around. Congratulations, obviously, to our winners tonight. Looking forward to Auto Club next week. One of my favorite tracks. Multi-group racing, fanned out, wide corners. Should be a fun one. I'm ready for it next week.
Should be a fun one as always. And again, on to the Final 4 next week as well. Check us out as always at LiveSimRacing.com. For Rocket Racing Media, Charles Wooten, Jeff Stabnow, all of the amazing crew. Of course, I'm Wesley Outlaw with Jason Rockefeller. Good night from Iowa.